the studio lights of the morning. Talk show glowed brightly as the audience settled into their seats. The atmosphere felt normal at first, filled with cheerful music, casual conversations, and the familiar energy that always accompanied live television. Nobody in the audience suspected they were about to witness one of the most intense and unforgettable moments the show had seen in years. Patti LaBelle arrived as the featured guest of the day, elegant, confident, and carrying the grace that had defined her legendary career. She walked onto the stage to loud applause. The audience rose to their feet, celebrating a woman whose voice had inspired generations. Patti smiled warmly, waving to fans as she took her seat at the table. The conversation began pleasantly enough. The hosts asked about her latest projects, her music legacy, and her experiences over the decades. Patti answered with charm and humor, sharing stories from her remarkable journey. The audience laughed along, enjoying her candid personality and natural storytelling ability. As the discussion continued, the topic shifted toward the changing entertainment industry. Patti spoke thoughtfully about how artists today face different challenges than performers from her generation. She emphasized the importance of respect, professionalism, and dedication to one's craft. For a while, everything remained calm. Then Joy Behar raised a question that immediately changed the mood in the room. With a skeptical tone, Joy suggested that nostalgia sometimes caused people to exaggerate the influence of older entertainers. She wondered aloud whether modern audiences truly connected with legendary performers in the same way previous generations had. The audience grew quieter. Patti maintained her composure and answered respectfully. She explained that great music transcended generations, and that genuine artistry remained relevant regardless of changing trends. Joy listened but continued pressing the issue. She argued that cultural relevance depended on constant adaptation and suggested that some established stars struggled to stay connected with younger audiences. A few nervous laughs echoed through the studio. Patti's smile began to fade. She calmly pointed out that her concerts continued attracting fans of all ages. She described meeting young listeners who had discovered her music through family members, streaming platforms, and social media. The audience applauded. Instead of moving on, Joy challenged her again. This time, the question felt more personal. She implied that some legendary artists benefited more from their reputation than from current accomplishments. A visible tension spread across the table. Several hosts shifted in their seats. The atmosphere that had been lighthearted only moments earlier now felt uncomfortable. Patti paused for a moment. She looked directly at Joy. The audience could sense that something significant was about to happen. When Patti finally spoke, her voice remained calm, but there was unmistakable firmness behind every word. She explained that success was never handed to her. She spoke about years of struggle, countless performances, rejection, sacrifice, and determination. She reminded everyone that her career had survived changing musical eras, industry shifts, and cultural transformations because audiences continued supporting her work. The room fell silent. Patti wasn't raising her voice. She didn't need to. Every sentence carried decades of experience. Joy attempted to interrupt, but Patti continued speaking. She described how difficult it had been for women, particularly black women, to succeed in the entertainment business when she first began her career. Opportunities had been limited, expectations had been unfair, and obstacles had appeared at every turn. The audience listened intently. Many people nodded as Patti shared stories about challenges she had faced behind the scenes. Her words were powerful because they came from lived experience rather than theory. Joy tried to redirect the conversation, suggesting that today's entertainers faced their own unique struggles. Patti agreed. But then she made a point that immediately resonated with the audience. She explained that recognizing new talent should never require diminishing those who came before. The crowd erupted into applause. Several audience members stood up. The energy inside the studio shifted dramatically. For the first time during the exchange, Joy appeared caught off guard. Patti remained composed. She wasn't interested in creating drama. She simply wanted to defend the value of hard work, legacy, and respect. As the applause faded, another host attempted to ease the tension by changing the subject. However, the discussion had already captured everyone's attention. Joy returned to the issue once more. She questioned whether society sometimes place too much importance on celebrity status. Patti smiled slightly. Then she delivered a response that instantly became the defining moment of the interview. She said that fame itself meant very little. What mattered was the impact someone left behind. Awards could gather dust, charts could change, headlines could disappear, but touching people's lives through music, kindness, and perseverance created a legacy that lasted far beyond temporary popularity. The audience responded with thunderous applause. Even some staff members standing off camera could be seen clapping. The emotional weight of Patti's words filled the studio. For a brief moment, nobody spoke. The silence itself seemed to acknowledge the power of what had just been said. Joy eventually nodded. Though she still appeared unconvinced on certain points, she seemed to recognize the sincerity behind Patti's perspective. The conversation gradually softened. Questions turned back toward Patti's music, her family, and her future plans. Laughter slowly returned to the table. Yet the earlier exchange remained the focus of everyone's attention. Social media users watching from home immediately began sharing clips and reactions online. Within minutes, discussions exploded across various platforms. Some viewers praised Patti for standing her ground with dignity and confidence. Others admired her ability to remain calm under pressure. Many commented that she had demonstrated exactly why she remained one of the most respected figures in entertainment. Back in the studio, the interview reached its conclusion. As the segment ended, Patti received another standing ovation. She thanked the audience for their support and expressed gratitude for the opportunity to share her thoughts. Before leaving the stage, she offered one final message. She encouraged people to respect one another's journeys, listen before judging, and remember that every success story carried unseen struggles behind it. The audience applauded once again. The hosts thanked her for appearing on the show. Patti smiled, waved goodbye, and walked off stage with the same grace she had displayed from the beginning. Long after the cameras stopped rolling, people continued talking about the exchange. Some remembered the tension. Others remembered the disagreement. But most remembered something else entirely. They remembered a legendary performer refusing to allow her accomplishments to be dismissed. They remembered a woman speaking with conviction, wisdom, and dignity. And they remembered that true confidence does not require shouting. Sometimes the strongest response comes from simply standing firm, speaking honestly, and letting a lifetime of experience speak for itself.